Most times in life, it's good to reevaluate and take a look at things from a different point of view and from a different angle. The unique artists assembled to produce the art for this set are truly one-of-a-kind talented human beings. It's Topps Project 7D Spotlight on the Greatest Cards of All Time podcast.
Greatest Cards of All Time podcast number 2, where we're diving right back into Project 70, taking an in-depth spotlight look. As I hold a Shohei Ohtani in my hands, Angels MVP, 2021 AL MVP, on the bottom right-hand corner of the front of this card. Shohei with a little slick hairdo. He's looking buff, and he's looking determined. This is a very good-looking card. Sharp corners, sharp edges on the artwork. Really, really pleasing card to look at up close. And you have the Topps holograms on the back. Once again, Project 70 hits another Shohei Ohtani home run with that card.
Yeah. You know, I picked it up mainly because it was cheap and it was Shohei Ohtani. I am definitely an Ohtani fan, and that's the number one reason why I picked it up. But now the more I look at it, it is a pretty sharp card. This is based off of 2013 Topps. Honestly, this is kind of a gap in my collecting. I don't really even know what 2013 Topps looks like, so I'm not sure how close this is to that. I'm going to have to actually check that out to see. It still is a cool card. The pop count on this is 5,570. It's by F-Dot.
F-Dot. What is F-Dot? I did notice that when I was
know.
looking at the beautiful silhouettes on the backside. But F-Dot.
F-Dot.
The artist.
EF Dot, actually. It's a pretty cool little, I don't know if you see his little signature on there.
I
It's
see
an
the
EF
signature on the
or
back.
EF Dot.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And another thing, it says he's a child of the 1990s, so he's a little whippersnapper compared to me. So, anyways, cool card. I'm an Ohtani collector, so we're actually going to have a couple other more cards to talk about from him. Next card on the list is another Shohei Ohtani card. This is number 385 in the set. This is based off of 2017 Topps. As far as the population count on this one, that's 5,755, and it is by an artist known by Naturel. Now, I've looked at some of his other cards. I don't own any of Naturel's other cards, but it is clear as day, obvious. You could pick it up in a lineup, no doubt. I bet you could pick out every single one of his cards without a doubt. I'm speculating here, but based on what I saw. Very unique style. I do like it. Again, I picked this one up mainly just because it was cheap again. I mean, I do like the way it looked too, but I'm an Ohtani collector. I'm looking at these cards. I think these cards are just sweet. I mean, they come in a one-touch. Obviously, you can look and see it looks like a one-touch or something similar to it. The card stock is really thick. This isn't just your little regular freaking cardboard.
Premium stock. This is premium stock.
It's really high quality. It's a high quality product, and I'm getting some of these for less than $20. You know, I'm getting a very unique Ohtani card, a mixture of art and cards.
A ton of value there.
I
ton
think
of
so.
value there.
I think so.
I completely agree.
You know, let's go back to some of the party cards or art, and we're gonna
it's
actually
art.
dive into those. It is art. I mean,
that is
the
artists. Question.
Okay.
Is this are you purchasing or investing in art, or are you purchasing a trading card?
And it's both in this
both.
case. But if you want to buy a print from Party, I want to say it's like $90. You know, I listened to an interview from him, and he said, you know, if you want to buy any of my art, this is the absolute cheapest way you can buy something that I make. Yeah, it may be a little bit smaller, but I mean, it's really cool. I love it. I love that it is a mixture of art and tops. I think it was a great idea. And, I am buying a Shohei Ohtani card that has a population count of 5,755. There are a ton of Shohei Ohtani fans out there. There are plenty of those fans that don't even know these cards are out here. I mean, the population count is so low. The cards are so cool. I can't believe I can buy these cards for less than $20.
And I think you spotlighted this card very wonderfully. The Shohei Ohtani winding up, whipping a pitch, that's another interesting aspect of collecting a Shohei Ohtani. Do you prefer him pitching? Do you see him as a pitcher?
Right.
Or do you see him as a hammer bat in the lineup also?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's why he's so valuable. A little bit about this card. I love it. It's going to be, in my opinion, the most beautiful card we see in the lineup offering that we have of Project 70 today. It is wonderful. A light blue background accents that bright red jersey. It just works on all levels. I like the style of the artwork too. And Natural, I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, before we move on to another card, I agree. I actually want to comment on that too.
My favorite card. My favorite
card.
Shohei Ohtani in the Project 70 lineup.
The red does look really cool with the blue background. And the other aspect to the Ohtani cards that I think was a good point that I haven't thought about too much is, like you said, the hitting, pitching.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball literally had to change the rules for this guy. They have the Ohtani rule because they want him to be able to pitch and then hit. They changed the game in the All-Star game because he was the starting pitcher, and then they wanted him to be able to DH. They actually changed the game in baseball, too, so he can do the same damn thing in baseball now. I mean, that is how unique this guy is. They literally had to change the rules in baseball for him.
Third card we're presenting today is an American League MVP. On the left, Shohei Ohtani. And on the right, Bryce Harper, your 2021 National League MVP. Project 70, man, teaming up two big dogs on the same card. I like the artwork. Is that rattle can? Is that a rattle can there? Kind of looking a little graffiti-ish also, but look at that pink smoke in between both of those MVPs. Really appealing to the eye. Really nice layout to the card too. The only thing that's kind of weird is looking at Shohei Ohtani's face. It's almost like a scowl or something.
Show me your mean face. Show me your mean face.
His mean face, I think, is what it is. Yeah, you're right.
It was Shohei's mean face, but actually it looks more like a frown, like he might almost be ready to cry.
He might be frowning. His
like
mean
frowning,
face, yeah.
But what were you calling it? Rattle can? Is that what you were calling it?
Yeah, like spray paint.
Yeah. Well, you're right on. You're right on there. The guy's known by Cess, and he is known for graffiti. I watched an interview from the guy. I think he dropped out of school as a teenager. Dropped out of school and has basically just been in that scene nonstop. I think he's probably about my age, so mid-50s. Or mid-50s, shit, mid-40s. Where'd that come from? Mid-40s. And so he's been doing this for a long time. That is his thing. That's still what he does, is graffiti.
Looks great.
I like the card. It's supposedly based off of 1955 tops, which I don't exactly get. It's number 852 in the set, and the reason why I say I don't get it, because that just doesn't look like 55 tops to me, so maybe I'm just missing something.
Like a 55 tops insert, and then maybe
Cess's
twist on it,
Could be. Now, something that I didn't know until we were doing a little more research before the podcast, the population count on this is only 1,618.
Low pop.
Very low pop. Very low pop.
Opinion.
Now, that's not the low 10, actually. We've talked about the top 10, or at least maybe 6 or 7 of the top 10 in the last podcast. The lowest 10 population is 565 down to 474. So that's the lowest 10 in the entire set as far as the population count. This one is pretty low at 1,618. That's pretty low. The 21 MVP maybe is a little bit too big for me, but again, he's kind of probably trying to show the graffiti art a little bit more in the card, so I kind of get that. It's a cool card, and honestly, just because there's only 1,618, I might pick up some more.
Works for me.
So fourth card is actually another CES card, and if you couldn't tell the previous card was graffiti, I mean, this couldn't be more obvious. There's literally a train behind the card with graffiti. I think it's awesome. I love the look of this card. I don't know why. Well, I'm a Brewers fan, but it's just cool. Yelich just sitting there. That's just what he looks like when he swings, obviously. But
I could tell it was CES right away.
The CES part's obvious.
Just like the card before it.
Exactly. And this one is based off of 1974 Topps, which, I was listening to another podcast recently, and almost all of them agreed that 1974 was their least favorite for some reason. They said it was kind of plain. But I always kind of like 74. I like the banner up top, then the banner on the bottom. Yeah, it's kind of plain for a Topps, but this card, I love it. I love the paint that's dripping. I'm a Christian Yelich fan. Hopefully he turns it around this year. He's kind of been struggling. You got his number there. Pretty cool card as far as the population count. This one's 3,180.
I don't mind plain if it's clean.
Okay.
I don't mind plain if it's clean. This is nice and clean cut here. I love the borders, love the dripping borders. I love that. I don't even know what to call it now. The CES style rattle can on that empty train car. Pretty cool. I like it all. It almost looks like that graffiti on the train car above Christian Yelich's head is making a little halo too. Pretty sure that's a little touch that.
Interesting, yeah.
Pretty sure that's a little touch that CES put on that too. Overall, really like this card.
I do too.
Wouldn't mind to have it in my own collection. I don't, but pretty.
I
nice
actually
card.
picked this one up for my niece. I thought,
Cool.
she's a Brewers fan, so I gave her one of these. So and my nephew, if you've watched the prior video, I gave him a Tatis, which is a party. So she got
Very
this
cool.
one, he got the party. So okay, so these two cards, we have the Trout, which is the number one most popular card. It's a party. And the second card is what is called a companion card. We briefly talked about it last podcast, but quick refresher on these. There are 700 of these. These are actually not a Topps project. You'll notice the little tape on top is different. That's actually the party tape. These were sold through his site, through him. And on the back, again, there's no Topps logos, but on the bottom left corner, again, that's the party logo on the bottom left. And it also says Bright Mirrors, which is kind of his term for the type of pictures that he draws. Now, on the companion card, I love these cards. I think last time I said this was a foil. I don't think that's totally accurate. I think a foil would actually be where the entire surface of the card is a foil. That's not what this is. This actually has just certain spots, like the teeth, the eyeballs, the Los Angeles. That's the stuff that sparkles. The rest actually is not a foil. This probably isn't my favorite companion card, but I love all the companion cards. Like we talked about before, this is art and cards together. This is the artist. This is the art more so than the card. I mean, this is just and again, I talked about it a little bit before, but when you get a chance to look at the back of the cards and it has the history, in quotes, the history on there, that's a comic book. That's a mini comic book. That's a story. That is, how did we create the companion card? This is the companion card, but how did we create the Mike Trout? What happened? Why, like you said before, was there something dripping from the bat? That's on the back of the companion card. It explains all of that.
This card, a lot like the last card, I would call that maybe like a reverse holofoil. I totally understand what you're saying. Almost gives more of a glow.
Okay, bringing in some Pokemon here.
Almost gives more of a glow. Still a very unique card, and you place that next to the original, the base card, and it looks really nice. It looks like Ronald Acuna Jr.'s hand would look like looking at the original card there.
That's it.
Nicely done.
Yep, 100% agree. You know, the hand looks like the face, kind of. And again, on the back of the card, it says actually 108 Stitches of Doom.
Love it.
And then it has the history below it. This actually is number 687 out of 700. Again, there's only 700 of the companion cards.
Very limited.
Very limited. It has the mini comic book story about how did Acuna get those teeth, or why did that happen? How did that happen? Again, super cool. The Atlanta, pretty cool. I don't know. You probably noticed the A's have the teeth, the mouth.
Yeah, sure.
Just pretty sweet. I don't know. Love the color. Love the card. When I bought these, I bought them as a set. So I bought 3 companion cards with the 3 other cards, and I spent a decent amount of money. But after the person accepted my offer, it was like totally happy. I wasn't like bummed out, like, oh, buyer's regret, I wish I didn't buy it. I was like, that was a great deal. I absolutely love these cards. So the last cards we're talking about are the Ke'Bryan Hayes and the Hayes companion card. This one is by far my favorite out of the companion cards.
Love it.
Love it, right? I mean, as far as like bling and foil, this one by far has the most. Like the border has it, the teeth have it, the eyes, the teeth on, well, it's like the teeth on the spider, and there's like another head above it. I don't even know. You know, the Pittsburgh, everything about it just looks really cool. When you pair it up with the Ke'Bryan Hayes card, I think the two together just look really cool. I don't know. I love, you know, you've got the rest of the spider legs like grabbing him, or it's his legs. I don't know. I think the spider, he becomes a spider. Whatever it is, it just goes. I mean, this is my favorite of the two together. Now watch, Ke'Bryan better not be one of the future star busts, because that will be a bummer. But you know, if he ends up being an all-star, a solid player, this set is just this pair is just awesome together.
I agree, and I think you got nothing to worry about. I think he's the real deal, just a Pirates future star, 100%. Love the light purple. Obviously, he went majority light purple on both of these cards, so it just meshes together real nice. And then you have that reverse holofoil once again.
And then even like the future stars, and then like the puddle below it, like, you notice those are like the same color too. It's like you've got the rainbow on the future stars, you got the little rainbow oil slick down there. I don't know. It's just I love the whole
Yeah,
thing.
It definitely works for me. Just like every Project 70 card I've seen so far.
This one happens to be number 426 out of 700.
Thanks for watching the Spotlight of Topps Project 70. More up close and personal cards and conversations to come on the Greatest Cards of All Time podcast.